Suzhou and Hangzhou, the Tang family. Today is the birthday party of the Tang family, and all the famous families in Suzhou and Hangzhou are here. A handsome young man with sword eyebrows and star eyes suddenly trembled, and a word of slang came out of his mouth. After quickly adjusting to the memory in his mind, Tang Yu collapsed a little. He is a serious online literature lover, and he has read no 1,800 urban cool articles. As a result, I suddenly got a villain system some time ago. This dog system allows him to become a villain in novels, and he will be rewarded every time he survives a big story. If you live to the end, you can return to the original world with rewards and wealth. And then it's a hellish start every time. He was KO'd by the Dragon King male lead in all sorts of ways. System, what book is this? Tang Yu shouted in his heart. This is God of War Dragon King game Yuhuadu, and now it's chapter 57. After being prompted by the system, Tang Yu quickly remembered the plot of the book. This is also a common routine romance novel, with the protagonist named Yi Chen. He came from a big family in Yangjing, and his family was destroyed when he was 5 years old. After being taken to a foreign country by an old man, he was trained to become the top assassin. He also founded the world's first mercenary organization called Dragon Soul, and was known as the Dragon King. In addition, his medical skills are all first class in the world, and he can easily appraise jade and antiques. This time, he returned to China under an assumed name to investigate the massacre of his family that year. In the meantime, he also picked up dozens of beauties and opened a harem, eventually reaching the pinnacle of life. And Tang Yu's identity is the eldest young master of the Tang family. The Tang family is the head of the 4 major families in Suzhou and Hangzhou, and the assets have reached trillions. It should have been a very cool thing to wear this kind of character. But no matter how noble the villain is, it is just a stepping stone for the protagonist. The plot of chapter 57, F***K, I'm going to die again? Tang Yu's face turned pale when he recalled the plot in the book. According to the plot of the book, today is his grandfather's birthday party. At this birthday party, he will be engaged to the first heroine Sumuyu. The Su family is also the 4 major families of Suzhou and Hangzhou, but it ranks last. And Tang Yu is Sumuyu's loyal licking dog. He does not hesitate to use all kinds of family resources to help each other. The pursuit for 3 years has not been exchanged for Sumuyu to look at him. After the elders of the Tang family could not bear to watch any longer, they decided to arrange a marriage between the 2 families. After Yi Chen, the Dragon King, knew about this, he fought and took Sumuyu away at the birthday party. And Tang Yu, the licking dog, was kicked into a vegetative state by Yi Chen, and died soon after. This setting is poisonous, isn't it? After recalling the plot, Tang Yu couldn't help scolding mother in his heart. This villain setting is mentally retarded. A top student who graduated from Yale University, handsome and worth trillions, will be a licking dog for 3 years for a woman who dumps her face every day. If he were a rich man worth tens of millions of dollars, he would have been driving a Cadillac to the club to have fun. No, I have to think of a way. Tang Yu glanced around the hall. Today was Grandpa's birthday party, and many guests came. Soon, his gaze locked on a young man's face. This man was Yi Chen, and he sat low-key in the corner with a glass of red wine. His current identity is Sumuyu's bodyguard. Bodyguard, this trick is understood by those who know it. It's okay for Laozi not to get engaged. As soon as Tang Yu murmured in his heart, a beautiful girl in a blue dress walked over. The girl had an outstanding temperament and a beautiful appearance, but her eyes were as cold as a knife. She looked at Tang Yu with a hint of disgust. It was the first heroine, Sumuyu. Walking in front of Tang Yu, Sumuyu said indifferently, Tang Xiao, please don't pester me, let's get rid of the marriage, I won't agree. Tang Yu had already sorted out his thoughts, and he was eager for this, so he nodded and said, I agree. Perhaps because Tang Yu agreed too readily, Sumuyu didn't react. She stared at Tang Yu. She couldn't believe her ears. Did she hear it wrong? At the same time, a frantic voice came from her ear. It must not be married. I thank your ancestors for 18 generations, and your great kindness will be repaid in the next life. Quickly elope with your Yi Chen, die laughing, his harem needs you. After hearing this voice, she frowned and looked around. Who is speaking? The voice she heard seemed to be similar to Tang Yu's. But he didn't open his mouth either? Could it be that she had heard wrong? What? Isn't it about breaking the marriage? Let's go and talk to the elders together. Tang Yu urged with a light smile. As long as they don't get married, Yi Chen has no reason to embarrass himself, right? Such a son of luck, what he can do as a villain is not to provoke him, and then be a rich, handsome and happy to the end. Cool. Okay? Sumuyu nodded and agreed, and left with Tang Yu, ready to talk to the elders. Tang Yu, who was walking in front, had a calm expression, but his heart was filled with joy. That's great, hurry up and break off ties with this stupid woman, so Yi Chen won't be able to bother me. I must survive until the end. It's just a pity that the first beauty of Suzhou, being a concubine of Yi Chen, is already a joke, but she also dragged the Su family down to ruin. It's no wonder it's a brainless romance novel. When the critique voices resurface, Sumuyu was certain that this was definitely Tang Yu's voice. Because now it's just the two of them in the corridor. Known as the first beauty in Suzhou and Hangzhou, she not only relies on her beauty, but also her extraordinary IQ talent. After quickly understanding all this, her face flashed a gloomy look. Yi Chen? This is the bodyguard she recruited some time ago. At that time, she was entangled by several hooligans, and the other party rescued her. She saw that Yi Chen was quite skilled, so she kept him in the Su family to repay him. After Yi Chen became a bodyguard, he helped her with a lot of things, and the two became good friends. But what about being a harem? Going to be a harem for a little bodyguard by yourself, but also implicated in the unfortunate family? In an instant, she felt a sense of resistance to Yi Chen. How could she, a noble and accomplished woman, be a harem for a lowly bodyguard? Soon, the two walked to a study room. In the study at the moment, the elders of the Tang family and the Su family are sitting together and talking about marriage. After the two came in, they greeted the elders one by one. Tang Yu, you're here just in time. I have something to tell you. I talked with you, Su uncle, and the others just now. I think you and Muyu are a good match. We plan to settle your marriage. What do you think? A middle-aged man with a Chinese character looked at Tang Yu and shouted. It was Tang Yu's father, Tang Gangcheng. I don't think it's appropriate. Tang Yu decisively refused. Everyone in the house looked strange, inappropriate. Who does not know in the whole of Suzhou and Hangzhou, your kid has been chasing others for 3 years? Tang Yu coughed dryly and cleared his throat. Elders, there is a saying that a strong melon is not sweet. I have recently reflected on it and found that Muyu and I are indeed incompatible personalities. Marriage is a lifetime affair. It is better to leave the choice to both of us. Thank you for your concern for us. After saying this, Tang Yu felt much more comfortable. Hehe, I won't have to be killed this time. The elders of the Tang and Su families were dumbfounded. After a group of people looked at each other, Su Muyu's father Su Chongshan suddenly spoke. Xiao Yu, uncle knows what you're thinking. Did Muyu force you to say that? Don't worry, uncle will handle this for you today. Tang Yu was stunned. Uncle, are you hoping I get beaten to death? No, Su uncle, I really... Tang Yu was about to explain, but Su Zhongshan waved his hand and said. Needless to say, uncle understands you. Then Su Chongshan looked at his daughter Rage and said. Muyu, tell yourself, how has Xiao Yu treated you over the past few years? People take great care of you in every possible way. You are sick and hospitalized. How long have you been staying? Xiao Yu has been watching over you. In terms of condition and appearance, where did Xiao Yu lose to you? You still force him to say such a thing, I'm really going to be mad at you. Su Muyu, who was sprayed with saliva by her father, was dumbfounded. What do you mean you forced him? This guy is happy in his heart, right? Come on, talk back, what are you still doing? And quarreled with your father, we worked together to make this mess up. We each live their own I also go to find 10 or 8 sister happy to play. If you don't talk back, I'll really be in bad luck. Do you still want to elope with your Dragon King Yi Chen? At the same time, the voiceover sounded again. Seeing Tang Yu winked at him. Su Muyu burst into flames at once. Bastard, one mouthful of your Yi Chen, What does he take himself for? Why should I run away with a bodyguard? What is he? And when she heard that this guy was going to find 10 or 18 younger sisters, she was even more angry. You have been chasing me for 3 years, and you change your mind when you say you change your mind? Dad, I didn't let him say that. I support marriage. Sumuyu, who was angry, suddenly said. Su Chongshan, who was so angry, was stunned for a moment, and he said in surprise, "You didn't lie to me." No. Sumuyu shook her head. Her face turned a little more rosy, and she bit her lip. He is really good to me. I am moved by his intentions, but I want to start slowly with love, okay? Of course it's alright. Eat one bite at a time. Take your time. Hearing this, Su Chongshan showed a relieved smile. It turned out that it was not her daughter who opposed the marriage, but Xiaoyu, the child, who was worried that she might have wronged her daughter, so she took the initiative to give up the marriage. This son-in-law is so sweet. The elders in the room also smiled, thinking the same as Su Chongshan. Tang Yu, who was smiling just now, looked even uglier than eating shit. He walked up to Sumuyu and squeezed out a smile that was uglier than crying. Muyu, you don't have to force yourself to do this, I understand what you think. Sumuyu bit her red lips and said in a low voice, but my idea is to start with love first. Xiaoyu, Muyu is just a bit cold-natured and not good at expressing herself. Don't think that she doesn't like you. Girls are all thin-skinned. Su Chongshan patted Tang Yu's shoulder with a kind smile and encouraged him. Tang Yu's face twitched. And Sumuyu's ears sounded a series of angry complaints. You are so crazy. Let's get married together. Who really wants to fall in love with you? You have to follow the novel's plot. The Dragon King's harem is your home. Please, come here quickly, smelling salts, don't get nervous. After hearing these thoughts, the corner of Sumuyu's mouth rose slightly, and there was a smile in her eyes. Seeing this guy in a hurry, she thought it was quite funny. Now he looks much more interesting than the dog-licking face he used to have. Okay, since they saw the right eye, then we don't have to worry about it, let's just go out and announce it. At this moment, Mr. Tang suddenly said. Everyone laughed and left the study. Tang Yu followed Sumuyu at the back. Seeing a smile on the woman's face, Tang Yu wanted to hit her with a set of military boxing. Didn't you agree not to get married? He gritted his teeth in a low voice. But I was moved by your sincerity. The smile on Sumuyu's mouth became even hotter. It was the first time Tang Yu saw her smile like this to him, which made him lose his mind for a moment. Then he reached out to touch Sumuyu's forehead, to see if the woman's brain was burned out. If you are not feeling well, let's go to the hospital for a checkup. Marriage is not a child's play, you have figured it out clearly. Tang Yu said bitterly. Sisters, if you are sick, treat it as soon as possible. If you don't go to the doctor, I will have to go to the doctor later. It's okay, I figured it out, and isn't this married yet? The old god Sumuyu is talking. Then I don't want it, the twisted melon is not sweet. It's okay, just quench your thirst. Sumuyu smiled even more happily. Seeing this guy shriveled, she couldn't be more beautiful in her heart. She looked at Tang Yu seriously and said, and your attitude has changed so much suddenly. Is it possible that you have a terminal illness and are afraid of burdening me? Tang Yu looked desperate and had nothing to say. Why doesn't this woman follow the plot? She must have had water in her head, and she was really killed by her now. Later, Yi Chen will definitely come out and make a big noise. After finally becoming a rich and handsome villain, I will be gone? Damn the novel plot. Accompanied by Tang Yu's complaints, it sounded again. Sumuyu became more and more curious in her heart. Will things really turn out the same as this guy's heart later? When a group of people returned to the hall, Mr. Tang first expressed his gratitude to the guests who came to celebrate his birthday. Then he called Tang Yu and Sumuyu in front of him and watched the crowd announce. My friends and relatives, I have a happy event to share with you today. Our Tang family decided to marry the Su family. From today, Sumuyu will be half of our Tang family's granddaughter-in-law. After Mr. Tang's announcement, the guests who came to the banquet immediately began to applaud. Everyone in the Su family was even more delighted. And Yi Chen, who was tasting red wine in the corner, turned gloomy instantly. With a murderous look on his face, he strode towards Tang Yu. Sumuyu was the woman he liked. Anyone who wants to get their hands on it must die. Damn, he's coming with murderous intent. Why the hell is it still like this? Am I destined to get beaten up today? At this moment, Tang Yu's complaint sounded again. Sumuyu took a look after hearing it, and really saw Yi Chen walking over with a murderous look on her face. This made Sumuyu a little shocked. Today, everyone in the Su family is here to attend the banquet, so naturally they will not bring bodyguards here. But Yi Chen really appeared here? Exactly what this guy said. I don't agree with this marriage. Walking 3 meters away, Yi Chen shouted angrily with a cold face. Everyone's eyes were focused on him. The guests who came today are all the famous nobles from Suzhou and Hangzhou. Except for a few people from the Su family, no one knows who Yi Chen is. Su Chongshan remembered that this man named Yi Chen was the new bodyguard in the family. Seeing him come out to make trouble, Su Chongshan's face darkened, and he stood up and shouted. What are you? A little bodyguard. It's your turn to dictate the affairs of my Su family. A trace of killing intent flashed in Yi Chen's eyes. If it wasn't for Sumuyu's father who said this, he would have already started. He, the Dragon King. Across the world in foreign countries, European princes and nobles dare not talk to him in such a manner. He stared at everyone in the Su family, and pointed at each other with his fingers. The dignified Su family, a famous family, sacrificing a girl's happiness for the prosperity of the family. Do you still have any sense of shame? Ha ha ha, here we come, the classic verbal onslaught begins. To meddle in other families' affairs is one thing, then resort to violence, play the hero to save the beauty, in the end, isn't it the Su family that will be unlucky? But in the world of enjoyable novels, the protagonist achieves success, and others are just stepping stones, quite normal. Tang Yu's voiceover sounded again. According to the original plot, Sumuyu was forced by her family to agree to a marriage. When she was most desperate, the Dragon King Yi Chen intervened and took her away. After Yi Chen broke the shackles in her heart, she became her only reliance. She fell in love with Yi Chen and became Yi Chen's first harem. But at this moment, Sumuyu frowned slightly, not moved or surprised at all. After listening to Tang Yu's thoughts for a long time, her mentality has completely changed. Rebellion, the little bodyguard dares to make trouble and drive him out. Su Chongshan shouted in anger. Soon, a tall man in a suit ran over. It was He Jin, the bodyguard captain of the Tang family. He Jin is a retired special forces soldier. He can be the captain of the Tang family's bodyguards, so he is naturally good at it. He is also very loyal to the Tang family. According to the original plot, he was the first to shoot and the first to be killed. After he was beaten to death, it was soon Tang Yu's turn to be unlucky. Do not impulse. Tang Yu hurried up to stop He Jin and persuaded, I have something to say. Today is my grandfather's birthday. It's not good to hurt your hands and get angry. Seeing the eldest young master speak, He Jin stopped. Did you see? It's still young Master Tang who is of high quality and doesn't care about such savages. If it was me, I would have pulled it out and killed it to feed the dogs. I think most of them want to grab a woman with young Master Tang. Is he worthy of his poor and sour look? The surrounding onlookers praised Tang Yu for his demeanor, and did not forget to step on Yi Chen by the way. This was also a consistent pattern in enjoyable novels. First use passers-by to increase the protagonist's anger, then the villain jumps out to chat a few words, and then gets knocked down by a punch. Tang Yu panicked to death when he heard these words. Why are you yelling so loudly? Can the attitude be better? You enjoy cursing for a moment. I was sent to the crematorium. Sure enough, after hearing the words of these passers-by, Yi Chen's face was instantly ashen, and he stared at Tang Yu. It's all the culprit. If it wasn't for him pestering Sumuyu, how could things have become like this? Fuck, what the hell are you staring at me for? It's not that I scold you. I didn't even ask anyone to take action. What are you going to do? If you want to grab someone, hurry up, don't come at me, you stinky idiot. Tang Yu was tensed by the chrysanthemum he was staring at, and complained in his heart. This guy is the Dragon King, and the bodyguards of the entire Tang family are not enough for him to fight alone. It really made him angry, and it won't be long before everyone can come to Tang's house to attend their own funeral. Sumuyu listened to it for a long time, and couldn't help but burst out laughing. Seeing Sumuyu smile, Yi Chen's expression softened a bit. He thought that Sumuyu laughed because she stood up to speak for her. So he smiled evilly at Sumuyu, with an astonishing arc at the corner of his mouth, and walked over. Muyu, no one can sacrifice your freedom in exchange for benefits. With me here, you can go wherever you want, and whoever stops you will die. Tang Yu, who was beside him, took 2 steps back silently to distance himself, feeling a little excited. Yes, go up to A. The male and female guests hold hands will leave you quickly if they succeed. In the original plot, Tang Yu has already taken the bodyguards up to do it now. Now he stopped the bodyguard too. As long as this guy takes Sumuyu away, the next thing has nothing to do with him. Yi Chen walked over and grabbed Sumuyu's hand, and was about to lead her away from the Tang family. His hand hadn't touched Sumuyu yet. Sumuyu took 2 steps back and looked at Yi Chen with a cold face. What are you doing? Crazy, when was my freedom sacrificed? After listening to her heart for a long time, she already understood what was going on. The world I live in seems to be a novel world. According to the normal plot, I have been eloped by this guy at this moment. She was extremely disgusted at the thought that she had become this guy's harem. Yi Chen's face was shocked, and a trace of anger flashed in his eyes. How dare this woman refuse her? Doesn't she understand that when the whole world betrays her, she is the only one who is willing to betray the world for her? Immediately, he reacted again, looked at Sumuyu and smiled. Muyu, I know what you're afraid of. Don't worry, I'm here. The Tang family doesn't dare to do anything to you. After he finished speaking, he stared at Tang Yu with cold eyes. Sumuyu didn't dare to go with her. She must have been coerced by this guy. The eldest son of the Tang family? What is it? This is also in the country. It is not good to kill people casually. If he was abroad, he would order 100 or so mercenaries to wipe out the Tang family in an instant. You are so cerebral congestion, what's it to me? I even told the bodyguards not to intervene. And Sumuyu, you are a vicious woman. Is it necessary to act this way to protect him? Give you 1 million, hurry up and fly away. Don't torture me, brother. Tang Yu wanted to die now. These 2 people have king brain problems. You think too much. You are just a bodyguard of our Su family. You have been fired from today. Please leave here immediately. A trace of anger appeared on Sumuyu's beautiful face, and she pointed at the door and shouted. But this anger is not only aimed at Yi Chen, but also Tang Yu. This bastard, why does still mumbling that I will got together with Yi Chen? The more Sumuyu said that, the sweeter Yi Chen felt in his heart. She is trying to protect me, so she deliberately sings a black face. She has me in her heart. So he looked at Sumuyu with a little more tender pampering. The smile on the corner of his mouth became more and more sinister and confident, and he said, Muyu, I won't leave you. With me by your side, you don't have to worry so much. The mere Tang family is nothing. When everyone in the Tang family heard this, they all showed anger. Sumuyu even got goosebumps and almost didn't bring breakfast to spit up. Everyone in the Su family was furious at this moment. A little bodyguard of his own blatantly made troubles. Didn't this push the Su family into the fire pit? Su Chongshan, who was at the extreme of rage, rushed up and pushed Yi Chen hard. It's just that Yi Chen stood there as still as a mountain, and Su Chongshan couldn't push him either. The furious Su Chongshan punched Yi Chen in the face and roared. You bastard, get the hell out, stop pestering my daughter. I have only one son-in-law in my life, and that is Tang Yu. My Su family will never forgive you if you keep pester. This punch had little damage, and it is extremely insulting. A strong killing intent flashed in Yi Chen's eyes. It was only because Su Chongshan was his father-in-law that he silently recited 2 words in his heart. Forbearance. Yes, as a Dragon King, the most important thing is to learn to endure. He said with a cold face, since I'm not welcome here, then I'll just leave. After he finished speaking, he cast a bitter look at Tang Yu. This kid didn't show up on purpose, and let the Su family deal with him. It's a good plan. It was obvious that the Su family would be used to force Sumuyu into submission. The humiliation that I have received today will be repaid with blood from him and the Tang family in the future. Muyu, remember that no matter what happens in the future, as long as you need it, I will definitely appear by your side to protect you. After leaving a sentence, Yi Chen strode away. Are you freaking crazy? What the hell does it have to do with me? You just want to make trouble with me, huh? I understand that the two of you have deep feelings for each other, but you don't want to play like this. I beg you, Sumuyu, hurry up and go with your husband, take the high-speed train and leave. Sumuyu on the side was also full of anger. She had been listening to this guy muttering for a long time. One bite of your husband. I'm your fiancé. You don't want me to get close? I'll do it on purpose. Annoyed, she walked over to Tang Yu and kissed him on the cheek. Consider it a dog kiss. Fortunately, Tang Yu was quick-witted and quickly covered his face with his hands. Let Sumuyu kiss the back of her hand. Damn, you're so vicious? Want to kiss me? Fortunately, my skills are superior, so that you succeeded and there is still a way to live today. The two stared at each other, and the guests laughed wildly when they saw this comedy scene. Yi Chen, who was walking to the door, heard the cheers, looked back, and his eyes were split. His own woman is kissing another man? Although just kiss on the back of the hand. The laughter of the guests stimulated his nerves even more. He clenched his fists tightly, but in the end he didn't go back to start a killing spree. Because he knew that Sumuyu must have done this in order to endure the humiliation and compromise. She is protecting herself from the Tang family. After all, she didn't know his identity and strength as the Dragon King. But now is not the time to reveal your identity. He still needs to continue lurking and slowly investigate the truth of the annihilation of the year. Yi Chen took a deep breath and walked out of the Tang family with hatred. This Tang family no longer needs to exist.
When the banquet was over, everyone in the Su family went to apologize to the people of the Tang family one after another. Tang Yu sat on the sofa with an expression of being played badly. Dog system, are you playing with me? Why is today's plot different from what we said? He scolded in his heart. Su Muyue in the original plot should be dismissive of him. But there is obviously something wrong with today's Su Muyue. Her IQ has obviously improved by a lot. In order to protect her Dragon King, she is willing to sacrifice so much? Seeing Yi Chen's shocked and angry eyes when he left, Tang Yu knew that he would definitely not let himself go. Maybe it is because of the butterfly effect caused by changing the plot. Forget it, the dog system will reward me, Tang Yu said through gritted teeth. The dog host successfully survived the first plot, and a Lamborghini poison is rewarded. It's already in the garage, please check it. After the system sounded, Tang Yu has an extra car key in his pocket. He takes out the car key and glances at it, and is speechless. What the hell, I now have money in addition to money at home, do you give me this thing for chicken feathers? Tell me, has the plot collapsed now? Tang Yu asked again. If you have to ask me, I can only say no comment. Tang Yu simply gave up communicating with this animal system. This damn thing is here to pit him. But to survive the birthday party. It's been a while. The captain of the bodyguard, He Jin, ran over. Holding an exquisite red wooden box in his hand, he respectfully said, Tang Xiao, this is what Madam asked me to send you. It is a gift for visiting Grandfather Wang. Okay, hard work. Tang Yu nodded. Mr. Wang is the Wang family of the four major families in Suhang. The four major families are headed by the Tang family and have the most powerful strength. The Wang family is in second place, and the Qin family is in third place. At the bottom is the Su family. And the Wang family and the Tang family are family friends. The two families are very close. Mr. Wang has been kind to Tang Yu since he was a child. Some time ago, Mr. Wang suffered a cerebral hemorrhage, resulting in hemiplegia. He is currently recuperating at home. Damn, isn't this the plot of chapter 62? Tang Yu suddenly shuddered. According to the original plot, Grandpa Wang has been unable to cure after falling ill with hemiplegia. The Wang family searched everywhere for a famous doctor to treat the old man. And Yi Chen, as the male protagonist of a novel, naturally had maxed out his divine Dr. Cheat ability. Things like the Tai divine needle were no big deal for him. This plot point was the perfect moment for him to show off. Yi Chen showed off his medical skills and cured old Master Wang. He gained the trust of the Wang family. This paved the way for his conquest of Suang. Damn, am I going to be sent up to get beaten again? Tang Yu was suddenly confused. Can't I, as this stepping stone, refuse to play the role anymore? Then he thought carefully. According to the original plot, by this time, he should have already been dead. The one who gets shown up in this plot isn't him. It's another divine doctor who goes to treat the patient. First, let an expert try, and after the expert fails, then the Dragon King comes out to show off, making him seem 100 times better than others. This made Tang Yu breathe a slight sigh of relief. As long as it's not himself getting shown up, everything's fine. As for avoiding this plot by not going or something like that, Tang Yu dared not do such a stupid thing. He had tried it once before. The outcome of forcibly avoiding the plot was a dead end. The system rules are there, you can find ways to survive. But you can't escape the plot. He-jin, standing nearby, noticed Tang Yu's constantly changing expression, and couldn't help but ask, "Young Master Tang, are you all right?" "I'm fine." Tang Yu shook his head. "That's good." He-jin breathed a sigh of relief, then smiled and tried to claim credit. "Young Master Tang, I know you're still upset about today's events. Don't worry, I've already sent people to cause trouble for that ye fellow." Tang Yu stared at He-jin with wide eyes and asked, "Who did you send people to cause trouble for?" "That little bodyguard, of course," He-jin said proudly. "Young Master Tang, didn't you say he was skilled? I specifically called over 30 people. This time, we'll definitely make him pay." Tang Yu sharply inhaled. "Good grief. You really don't want me to survive until the grand finale, do you?" he angrily exclaimed. "Call them back immediately. Don't lay a hand on him." "Huh? All right." He-jin hurriedly took out his phone to call the people back. Feeling somewhat confused. "Have you called them back?" "Yes, I have." "Good." Tang Yu finally breathed a sigh of relief. "Damn, I almost got screwed over again." He carefully examined He-jin for a few moments. No matter how you look at this guy, he seems like a loyal double-crosser. This one cannot be kept around. Captain He, as the saying goes, strong grass withstands the storm, and true loyalty is revealed in times of crisis. "I'm very satisfied with your performance today," Tang Yu said to He-jin with a pleasant expression. "However, I feel that with your talent, being a head of security is beneath you. How about this? Our Tang family has a mining company in South Africa. Why don't you go there and oversee it for me?" "Me?" He-jin was deeply moved. Young Master Tang is truly too kind. "Yes, leave tomorrow. I'll make arrangements for you later. Your salary and bonuses will triple over there. Work hard for a few years and we'll see." Tang Yu patted He-jin's shoulder firmly. "Thank you so much for your trust, young Master Tang. I will definitely work hard." He-jin was so moved that he started crying. After expressing his gratitude repeatedly, he tearfully went back to pack his things. After He-jin left, Tang Yu was extremely satisfied. Great, got rid of a traitor. Sent off to Africa. You can't come out and make enemies for yourself anymore, can you? Now I can peacefully proceed with the storyline at the Wang family. He glanced down at the Rolex on his wrist. The life of wealthy people is just so plain and boring. Picking up the gift on the table, Tang Yu walked towards the garage. Soon, a silver Lamborghini Veneno drove out from the Tang residence. The Wang family's old mansion was located in the suburbs. It took Tang Yu almost an hour to drive to the Wang residence. As one of the 4 great families of Suang, the Wang family's old mansion was originally a prince's palace. The interior of the mansion featured typical Suzhou-style garden decor. Pavilions, terraces, towers, and small ethereal ponds adorned the space. Everywhere you looked was a feast for the eyes. The mansion had been renovated several times over the past century. Tang Yu's last visit was, well, the last time he came. Tang Yu casually tossed his car keys to a bodyguard. He strode into the Wang residence with the gift in hand. Just as he reached the living room entrance, a tall, beautiful woman in a qipao was walking out. They collided head-on. Fortunately, a certain part of the qipao-clad beauty was particularly well developed. The ample cushioning prevented either of them from getting hurt. Feeling the astonishing elasticity against his chest, Tang Yu almost let out an exclamation. He couldn't help but look the qipao beauty up and down. She was wearing a white laurel-patterned qipao. Her long hair cascaded over her shoulders. beneath her flawless, angelic face. She had an absolute devil of a figure. However, due to her overly voluptuous figure, her qipao seemed to be struggling to contain her. Referee, she's committing a foul by charging with the ball. The fabric of this dress is really good. It's probably made of top-grade silk. If it were a shirt, it would have burst open by now. Upon hearing this sudden voice, the stunning woman in the qipao involuntarily widened her eyes and stared at Tang Yu. What are you saying? She could hardly believe her ears. This guy dares to talk to her like that now? What? I didn't say anything. Are you okay? Tang Yu was a bit confused and reached up to touch his nose. Wang Yixue hadn't seen Tang Yu's mouth move either. She subconsciously thought she had imagined it. So she said calmly, I must have misheard. Why have you come to my house? I've come to visit the old man. Tang Yu lifted the gift in his hand. The atmosphere suddenly became a bit awkward. The beauty before him was Wang Yixue, the eldest daughter of the Wang family, and also his ex-girlfriend. And she's the second female protagonist of the book. Because the Wang and Tang families were longtime friends. They had known each other since childhood. They attended the same university and dated for 2 months in their freshman year. Later, a promiscuous socialite from school relentlessly pursued Tang Yu, which Wang Yixue misunderstood. They hastily broke up. Afterwards, Tang Yu became Su Hang's most famous simp dog, while Wang Yixue returned to work at her family's company after graduation, remaining single until now. My grandfather is still resting. Please, sit down and have some tea. Wang Yixue called out, and began brewing tea for Tang Yu. A hint of bitterness flashed in her eyes. After breaking up with Tang Yu back then, they had barely been in contact. At last month's class reunion, she finally learned that she had misunderstood Tang Yu. She deeply regretted this. The moment she saw Tang Yu today, she realized that all these years, she had never been able to let him go in her heart. But what's the use of not letting go? It's all too late now. She had just learned that the Tang and Su families had announced their marriage alliance. Compared to Wang Yixue's roundabout thoughts, Tang Yu, sitting nearby, wasn't thinking so deeply. He was focused on watching Wang Yixue make tea. Her tea-making movements were graceful and skilled, her qipao accentuating her alluring figure. The whole process was like a pleasing artistic performance. Whoa, even making tea looks so good. Su Muyue is no damn first beauty. In my opinion, Wang Yixue is the real #1 beauty in Suhang, right? Look at this aura, these tea-making movements. Su Muyue is far inferior to her. Always with that sour face, as if I owe her money. Marriage alliance? What a joke. Sooner or later, I'll find a way to break off this damn engagement. As Tang Yu's sarcastic thoughts rang out, Wang Yixue's hand trembled, her movements suddenly becoming clumsy. She almost dropped the teacup. She stared at Tang Yu with wide, disbelieving eyes. There was no mistake, this must be Tang Yu's voice. Although he hadn't spoken aloud, she could hear him clearly. Are you all right? Tang Yu casually asked, seeing Wang Yixue's sudden mistake. I'm fine. Wang Yixue shook her head, suddenly feeling excited. Could she hear this guy's inner thoughts? And he even thinks I'm the top beauty? Huh, this guy clearly hasn't forgotten about me all these years. Yet he insists on acting like a simp dog. She felt a surge of joy and deliberately asked, I heard you got engaged to Su Muyue today? Congratulations, you've finally got what you wanted. What? Well, it's a long story. Anyway, marriage is definitely not happening. Tang Yu would never admit to this. What marriage? It's all Su Muyue messing around, isn't it? That woman is a complete nutcase. She has someone else in her heart, but deliberately uses me as a decoy to put on an act. Geez, the author is an idiot too. What ex-girlfriend? Such a trivial misunderstanding, couldn't they just clear it up? It's fine for the protagonist to have a harem, but it's so hard for the villain to have a relationship. Hearing these complaints, Wang Yixue became even happier. However, regarding the author and villains and such, she didn't quite understand for the moment. Holding the teapot, she poured a cup of tea for Tang Yu. Wang Yixue deliberately sat next to him and said softly, What's going on with you two? Trouble in paradise? There's no romance, we're just friends. Why are you asking about this? Tang Yu sensed something and slightly furrowed his brow. As an experienced antagonist, he knew that low-key survival. The best method was to stay away from these female protagonists, whether she was the first or the 99th. Though his tone was cold, but his inner thoughts betrayed him. Damn, why is she suddenly sitting so close to me? Her leg is touching mine. She smells so good, is this her natural scent? Her chest is so fair, no, I mean her clothes are, well, they just look good. Wang Yixue felt both happy and shy inside. This guy never complimented her like this when they were dating. With a playful smile on her lips, she leaned in closer again and said softly, "It's nothing, I just wanted to apologize. I misunderstood you back then. It doesn't matter, I don't care. And why are you sitting so close?" Tang Yu said deliberately with a displeased expression. "I'm already giving you the stink eye, why aren't you scram yet? Have you no dignity as a female protagonist in a wish fulfillment novel? But looking closely, she's really cute. Her skin is so damn nice. Her eyes are gorgeous, and her figure and aura are beyond reproach. But please don't come any closer, I really can't handle it." Wang Yixue tried hard to hold back her laughter. This guy, saying no with his mouth. But his body is being quite honest. Cute, she just loves this kind of gapmo. Why are you being so harsh? You're my first love, can't I be a little closer to you? Wang Yixue bit her lip, looking aggrieved. She took the opportunity to grab Tang Yu's arm. "Mind the distance, we're just friends now." Tang Yu scowled as he quickly yanked his arm away, saying in an icy tone, "We've been broken up for years, this act won't work. I don't like sumuyue, and I won't eat your turnaround grass." "Damn, how can you do this? Bumping into me is one thing, but grabbing my arm? That's cheating. Please act normal, this isn't your usual style. Shouldn't you be keeping all men except Yi Chen at arm's length? But I'm so jealous of my own arm. If only she'd hug my head instead. I want to use as a head cushion." Wang Yixue finally couldn't hold it anymore. She burst out laughing. Her laugh left Tang Yu stunned. Beautiful, she truly was beautiful. But damn, something's not right with this woman. He had given her such a cold shoulder. How could she still take it? The female protagonist in a wish fulfillment novel treats all men except the male protagonist like animals. After how I treated her, she should have decisively turned her back on me, cut all ties, and even held a grudge against me for life. She should have cut ties and held a grudge against me. Only then could I stay away from Yi Chen, that fortune's favorite, and continue low-key survival. In short, the first rule of survival in a wish fulfillment story is to never compete with the protagonist for women. As long as I low-key survival with my assets, would I ever lack female attention? Life comes first. Tang Yu shifted his body to the side, creating some distance. He was truly scared of this woman now. It was weird enough that Su Muyue was acting strange today. But had Wang Yixue gone crazy too? Damn it, forget it, I'm scared of you. Can I just hide in the bathroom for a while? Tang Yu decided to take initiative. If I can't handle it, I can at least avoid it, right? Just as he was about to get up and sneak away, Wang Yixue had already stood up first. She hadn't taken more than 2 steps when she suddenly cried out and fell flat on the ground. Haha, as expected of a wish fulfillment novel's female protagonist. The classic fall on flat ground. Tang Yu, standing nearby, couldn't help but laugh. A sly smile flashed across Wang Yixue's face. She let out a cry of pain. Looking at Tang Yu with a pitiful expression, on the verge of tears, she said, "Tang Yu, I think I've twisted my ankle. It hurts to walk." Rubbing her ankle and giving Tang Yu a pitiful look, she whined, "I've fallen down, and you're not even going to help me up?" Tang Yu initially wanted to refuse. But then he thought, what if he appeared too cold and offended her badly, causing her to hold a grudge? Women tend to be petty. And he was her ex-boyfriend, that special kind of creature. When she gets together with Yi Chen, she might deliberately speak ill of me. Isn't that just making enemies? "I'll help you to the sofa to rest," Tang Yu said in a flat tone. "I don't even help old ladies, why should I help you? I'll just help you this once and then slip away, alright?" Hearing Tang Yu's thoughts, Wang Yixue smiled so much her eyes crinkled into slits. "Want to slip away? Forget it." After getting back to the sofa, seeing Tang Yu stand up to leave, she quickly called out, "Tang Yu, I've twisted my ankle. Can you massage it for me?" I don't know how, Tang Yu flatly refused. He just wanted to drop by today for low-key survival, get through a story event, and grab rewards. Getting intimate with the second female protagonist is like asking for trouble. You're lying. When we were dating in college and I twisted my ankle playing tennis, it was you who helped me by massaging it better. Do you hate me that much now? Wang Yixue said with teary eyes, looking aggrieved. Yes, so if you're really uncomfortable, I can call your family doctor for you. Tang Yu nodded and said coldly. Yes, just think that I hate you and stay away from me, okay? Anyway, we're not a good match. You're one of Yi Chen's harem, and I'm just a disposable villain character. If he finds out about this, I'm fucking dead tonight. After hearing Tang Yu's inner thoughts again, Wang Yixue inwardly gave a cold snort. Although I don't quite understand what character setting and cannon fodder mean, but you think I'll just stay away because you say so? No way. Seeing how wary he was of that Yi Chen guy, she decided to resort to threats, saying, So you won't massage my foot? Fine, then leave. I'll tell everyone later that you took advantage of me. Tang Yu, who had just lifted his foot to leave, froze in shock. Damn, don't be like this. Can't you be reasonable? If you go around saying that, Yi Chen will definitely hold a grudge against me. I've never seen a wish fulfillment novel where a villain can steal the protagonist's woman and still survive. Don't do this. We can't go back. Let's just let bygones be bygones, okay? Tang Yu could only try to persuade her earnestly. I'm not listening to your nonsense. You have 1 minute to think about it, or I'm posting on social media. Wang Yixue took out her phone and waved it. Posting on social media is a death sentence, but massaging her foot might give me a glimmer of survival. Damn it, I have no choice. After a moment of contemplation, Tang Yu decided to choose the latter option. I'll massage your foot, but don't tell anyone about this. Tang Yu warned, reluctantly sitting on the sofa and placing Wang Yixue's delicate foot on his lap. As he gently massaged her ankle, Tang Yu took the opportunity to ogle Wang Yixue's voluptuous figure. When we were dating before, this girl's figure wasn't this developed, right? What has she been eating these past few? What's with the safety shorts under the qipao? Where's the trust between people? Wang Yixue, who was lying on the sofa enjoying her foot massage, showed a hint of shyness on her face. That's enough. As Tang Yu's inner thoughts became increasingly brazen, she found it harder and harder to endure. After pulling her foot back, she pretended to twist it and said, Much better. I'll come to you next time I'm injured. There's going to be a next time? Tang Yu widened his eyes, thinking, Is she trying to make things difficult for me? Of course, Wang Yixue eyes crinkling with a delighted smile. She could hear this guy's thoughts and had caught him red-handed. If she let him off just like that, would she still be Wang Yixue? Damn system, come out right now. Why has Wang Yixue's character setting collapsed too? Tang Yu roared inwardly. Damn it, another traitor who wants to get me killed. Uffed. The system chuckled. Wang Yixue's phone on the table suddenly rang. She picked up the phone, talked for a few sentences, then frowned and said, Understood. Delay the new energy meeting for another half hour. I'll be there soon. She smiled sweetly at Tang Yu and said, There's an urgent meeting at the company. I'll go to the meeting first and come back to find you later. New energy project? I remember now, isn't this a trap set by Wang Rulong and Yi Chen? New energy project? I remember now, isn't this a trap set by Wang Rulong and Yi Chen? To invest in this project, the Wang family's 50 billion in cash flow was completely tied up, causing the Tang Wang group to face a severe crisis. Wang Rulong seized the opportunity to cause trouble and grab power. Yi Chen played the role of a nice guy, helping Wang Yixue solve the crisis and successfully adding her to his harem. He then had someone kill Wang Rulong. The Wang family ultimately fell into his hands. Wang Yixue, who was about to stand up and leave, trembled delicately, her eyes filled with shock. How did Tang Yu know all this? This investment was top secret within the company. Only a handful of people were aware of it. And the one driving this project forward was none other than her cousin, Wang Rulong. Could it really be true? Wang Yixue gently bit her lip, her gaze towards Tang Yu filled with a hint of affection and emotion. He must have been secretly caring about me, using the Tang family's influence to investigate these matters for me. She gave Tang Yu a sweet smile and said, There's an urgent meeting at the company. I'll go attend it first, then come back to see you later. Just go about your business. Tang Yu was thrilled, eager for the woman to leave as soon as possible. As she left, her face was cold as frost, her heart filled with murderous intent. Well done, Wang Rulong and Yi Chen. If I uncover the truth, none of you will survive. As soon as Wang Yixue left, Tang Yu let out a big sigh of relief and leaned back on the sofa, chuckling to himself. I've got it. Though Wang Yixue seemed off today as well. But that's how the plot is set up. In a while, Yi Chen will come to the Wang family to flex as usual. The swagger he exudes will surely impress Wang Yixue. When she compares Yi Chen to me, she'll definitely fall for him immediately. Today, as long as I keep a low profile, Yi Chen, who's busy chasing girls and flexing, definitely won't have time to bother with me. Later, I'll let him know that Su Muyue has no connection to me. This time, I should be able to survive until the grand finale. Tang Yu thought to himself with glee. At this moment, footsteps suddenly came from outside the door. Tang Yu looked towards the door and saw a petite, pretty girl. Despite her petite frame, the young woman's figure was unexpectedly curvaceous, causing a subtle sway in her gait. Furthermore, she was intentionally dressed in the Japanese Lolita fashion style, resembling a beautiful young woman who had stepped out of an anime world. Upon seeing Tang Yu, the girl immediately flashed a sweet smile and greeted him cheerfully. Hello, brother Tang Yu. Oh. Xiao Yu, long time no see. Tang Yu hastily greeted her, quickly recalling her identity. She is Jiang Xiaoya, the most renowned female physician in the Suhang region. At only 20 years old this year, her medical skills rank among the top 10 in all of Huaxia. Her grandfather is even more renowned as a pillar of Chinese traditional medicine, honored as Jiang Tianyi, the medical sage of his generation. With unparalleled medical skills and extraordinary beauty, it was only natural for such a gifted daughter of heaven to join Dragon King Yi Chen's harem. Yes, this is also a standard setup for wish fulfillment novels. The male protagonist can charm women wherever he goes. There's a beautiful policewoman at the police station, a flight attendant on the plane. Even a little beggar he picks up from the street and cleans up turns out to be a stunning beauty, probably a lost princess from some super rich family. All these women in his inner circle invariably have impressive backgrounds. After falling for the male protagonist, their families also come out to support him. Yi Chen chooses Suhang as his first stop after returning to the country, precisely because these places have many beautiful women. While building his harem here, he also conquers the great families of Suang to be his backing, helping him rise step by step in Huaxia. How is old Master Tang's health recently? Has he been taking the medicine I prescribed last time on schedule? Jiang Xiaoya asked, approaching Tang Yu with a sweet smile. Yes, and I must thank you. My grandfather has been much better after taking the medicine you prescribed. Tang Yu hurriedly thanked Jiang Xiaoya with a smile. Brother Tang Yu, why are you being so polite with me? Jiang Xiaoya cast a coquettish glance at Tang Yu, somewhat displeased with his politeness. The Jiang family has practiced medicine for generations, and is also a century-old prominent family in Suzhou and Hangzhou, with close ties to the Tang family. With the Tang family's protection, no one in Suhang dares to trouble the Jiang family. Likewise, if anyone in the Tang family falls ill, the Jiang family is always the first to offer medical treatment. Moreover, she and Tang Yu have known each other since childhood, their relationship being almost like siblings. Alright, no need to be polite. Why don't you come in and rest for a while? Haha, if I'm not extra polite to you, I'll be in trouble today. It's all because you're part of Yi Chen's harem. That goddamn manhwa is maniacally possessive and lecherous. Sigh, it's such a shame my adorable little sister Xiaoya is wasted on him. That idiot author has shit for brains. Suddenly hearing a series of inner voices, Jiang Xiaoya was completely dumbfounded. I'm part of Yi Chen's harem? Who the hell is Yi Chen? She stared at Tang Yu with wide eyes and said, Brother Tang Yu, what are you saying? Huh? I didn't say anything, Tang Yu said, rubbing his nose. These women were all acting strange today, something wasn't quite right. Jiang Xiaoya was also bewildered. She was certain she had just heard it crystal clear. It was unmistakably brother Tang Yu's voice. At this moment, a private nurse from the Wang family approached. Seeing Jiang Xiaoya, she hurriedly came over and said respectfully, Dr. Jiang, you're here. Old Master Wang has just woken up. Would it be convenient for you to come and treat him now? Yes, I'm ready. We can go now, Jiang Xiaoya said, patting her small box that contained her silver needles and other tools. I'll come too, Tang Yu said, quickly picking up his gift and following along. After passing through several corridors, the three of them arrived at the entrance of a small courtyard. This was where old Master Wang lived. Several members of the Wang family approached from behind, and of course, the Dragon King Yi Chen was among them. As Yi Chun stood at the back of the crowd, his eyes instantly turned ice cold and filled with murderous intent the moment he saw Tang Yu. He wanted to kill this rich second generation who dared to compete with him for women today, but having just returned to the country, his foundation was not yet stable. Making a big fuss would be detrimental to his plans, so he suppressed his murderous intent, deciding to proceed slowly and methodically. Their gazes clashed briefly before Tang Yu wisely turned his head away. According to the usual plot, he, as the villain, should have stepped forward to trample Yi Chun. But he wasn't that stupid. Damn it, the guy is the author's boy, why the hell are you provoking him? They all walked into the small courtyard together, and soon saw old man Wang lying on his sickbed. Due to his hemiplegia, old man Wang had lost feeling in half of his body, and couldn't get out of bed freely. Seeing everyone come to visit him, he still felt gratified. "Xiao Yu, you're here." He smiled and greeted everyone, but his speech was somewhat slurred. "Dad, you should rest and not talk for now. Your health comes first." "Yes, Dr. Jiang is here to see you today. She'll definitely be able to cure you." "Grandpa Wang, focus on getting better. Once little Yu has cured you, I'll come play chess with you." Tang Yu also hurried over to greet him. With this, today's task was essentially half completed. Next, all he had to do was stand back and enjoy watching Yi Chun show off. At this moment, Yi Chun was standing behind, carefully observing old man Wang's condition. As a versatile expert, his medical skills were naturally top-notch. His diagnostic skills were so refined that he could identify the patient's problems without even taking a pulse. Standing beside him was Wang Rulong, the only son of the Wang family's second son. He was handsome, with delicate features, perfectly fitting the rich and handsome standard. In terms of ability alone, he was considered above average among the second-generation rich in Suhang. However, when compared to Wang Yixue, he was nowhere near her level. The Wang family once ranked third among the four great families, unable to surpass the Qin family. However, after Wang Yixue joined the company, the Wang family's assets skyrocketed by 80 billion in just 3 years, clearly demonstrating Wang Yixue's exceptional business acumen. Her talent was so dazzling that it made Wang Rulong pale in comparison, rendering him ordinary. Discontented, Wang Rulong ultimately chose to collude with outsiders in an attempt to seize control of the Wang family. The consequences of such actions are easily imaginable. Wang Rulong was feeling a bit nervous at the moment. He looked at Yi Chun and asked in a low voice, "Brother Yi, do you think you can handle my grandfather's illness?" According to their plan, Yi Chun would cure Wang Rulong's grandfather, gain his approval, and then approach Wang Yixue. In the end, Wang Rulong would win the beauty, while Yi Chun would gain power. Yi Chun calmly raised one hand, expression nonchalant. "Only 50%? Wang Rulong was taken aback. That success rate seems awfully low. "I mean, it's completely under my control," Yi Chun said, feeling slightly displeased. "Humph, what a fucking idiot. No wonder he's stupid enough to invite a wolf into his house and seek cooperation. Once I get Wang Yixue, you'll be the second stumbling block I crush under my feet. As for the first, naturally that bastard Tang standing nearby." As expected of Brother Yi, Wang Rulong praised sincerely with a smile. With such an ally, how could their grand plans fail? Yi Chun couldn't be bothered to give him a second glance. These rich second-generation heirs were all good for nothing. As the saying goes, a general's success is built on piles of bones. They were merely the dry bones beneath his feet. His gaze had already fallen on Jiang Xiaoye, a glint of sexual desire appearing in his eyes. Upon returning to Suhang, he immediately had his subordinates investigate and compile a report for him. This document listed all the renowned beauties in Suang. Jiang Xiaoye, ranked among the top 10 on this list, caught Yi Chen's eye and was already decided to be part of his harem. It wasn't just because of her beauty and talent, but also for her grandfather, and more importantly, for the Jiang family's network of connections. A family of legendary physicians had saved countless high-profile figures. If he could win Jiang Xiaoye's heart, taking control of Suang would be within reach. At this moment, Jiang Xiaoye was fully concentrated on taking old Master Wang's pulse for diagnosis. In a moment, she would know the details of his condition. Seeing Jiang Xiaoye release her hand, Wang Rulong hurriedly asked, "Dr. Jiang, how is my grandfather?" "The stroke has caused blockage in his meridians, along with some other complications leading to hemiplegia. However, it's not a major problem. I'll use the 13 ghost acupuncture technique to clear his meridians." As she spoke, Jiang Xiaoye opened the box and took out her acupuncture needles. She then waved at Tang Yu and called out, "Brother Tang Yu, come over here and help me sterilize these needles." "Huh?" I don't think I'm up to it. Despite the unspoken rule that a man should never admit to being inadequate, Tang Yu felt he really wasn't capable. Damn it, I was trying to blend in, and yet I still got dragged into this? Hurry up and come over here. Weren't you quite good at this before? You're the only one who knows my needle sequence. Jiang Xiaoya urged. At this moment, Tang Yu almost wished he was the one lying in bed with a stroke. But in front of everyone, he couldn't bring himself to refuse such a small task, lest he appear unfilial towards old Master Wang. As he walked over and was about to sterilize the needles, he noticed Yi Chun glaring at him with murderous intent. Tang Yu inwardly groaned, wondering what he'd done to offend this god of plague again. What rotten luck. Yi Chun silently gritted his teeth. This Tang fellow truly deserved to die. Did he have to get involved with every woman Yi Chun liked? Close all the doors and windows, and everyone step back. Don't crowd around, Jiang Xiaoya instructed. Before beginning the acupuncture, she had the crowd disperse, keeping only Tang Yu by her side to assist. Holding her breath, Jiang Xiaoya was just about to start applying the needles. However, Yi Chun suddenly spoke up, interrupting her action. He stepped forward with a calm expression and said, Dr. Jiang, are you planning to use the 13 ghost points needling technique, starting from old Mr. Wang's Tianzhu acupoint to treat his hemiplegia? Yes, what is it? Jiang Xiaoya frowned slightly. She had just attuned her essence, qi and spirit when her action was suddenly interrupted, feeling a bit irritated. I think this approach is inappropriate. You might not have recognized old Master Wang's real problem. Needling this way to clear the meridians might actually harm the patient's body. If you're not confident, perhaps I should do it instead. Yi Chun stepped forward and said. As soon as he spoke, the Wang family members all showed dissatisfaction and berated him. What the hell are you? How dare you try to teach Dr. Jiang how to treat patients? What a joke. This is the first time I've heard of someone can teach Dr. Jiang how to treat patients. Who brought this person here? Get him out of here right now. Haha, here it comes, the classic routine. First step up to attract hostility. After attracting hostility, he'll make a bet, then let Xiaoya continue the treatment. When Xiaoya encounters problems, he'll swoop in to flaunt his skills. By then, the Wang family will be convinced, and Xiaoya will admire his medical skills and fall for him. However, Xiaoya's treatment isn't problematic. It's just too conservative out of concern for the old man's body. She should be more forceful and stimulate the Weiqiu acupoint to expel the stagnant blood. Tang Yu silently complained in his heart from the side. After hearing these inner voices, Xiaoya's expression instantly became extremely strange. After being scolded by everyone, Yi Chun, though seething with anger inside, maintained a calm expression. How else could he demonstrate his superior demeanor? Wang Rulong hurriedly stepped forward to intercede. Elders, I'm the one who invited Yi Chun back. He's also skilled in medicine and came to treat grandfather. Why don't we give him a chance? Insolence. Is your grandfather's health a matter to be taken lightly? You bring back some random person to try? What can this beardless boy who's barely out of his teens do? A middle-aged man scolded angrily. Oh! Yi Chun sneered after hearing this, coldly saying, Dr. Jiang is younger than me. How do you know my medical skills are inferior to hers? Why don't we make a bet? What kind of bet? If Dr. Jiang can't cure him, I'll heal old Master Wang, but you all must apologize to me. And if Dr. Jiang cures him? If she cures him, I'll crawl out of the Wang family house. Fine, it's a deal, the middle-aged man said angrily. If even Dr. Jiang can't cure him, only her grandfather coming out of retirement would work. Seeing his plan progressing smoothly, Yi Chen was inwardly smug. Without doing this, how could he make these big families look at him with respect? This is psychology. Looking at the displeased Jiang Xiaoya, he flashed his signature smirk and said, Dr. Jiang, you can also make a bet with me. Bet on anything. I, Yi Chen, never go back on my word. Jiang Xiaoya had been listening to Tang Yu's inner thoughts for a while and understood the general situation. At this moment, she had no fondness for Yi Chun, and even found his smile extremely greasy and repulsive. A bet. As a doctor, how could one use such a sacred act as medical treatment as a wager? I'm sorry, I don't bet. Please be quiet and don't interfere with my treatment, she replied coldly, then instructed Tang Yu to sterilize the acupuncture needles again. Faced with Jiang Xiaoya's cold attitude, Yi Chen was unfazed. He thought that once he demonstrates his medical skills and wins her over, she'll naturally become infatuated with him. After all, women are creatures who inherently admire the strong. Wang Rulong stood by, feeling uneasy. This was the renowned Dr. Jiang, after all. He had originally thought that if Yi Chun acted first and successfully treated his grandfather, he himself would naturally get credit for recommending him. However, seeing the confident smirk on Yi Chen's face, he was also infected by the confidence. Brother Ye's smile suggested everything was under his control. As expected of you, Brother Yi. Sigh, it seems I remember correctly. After the treatment, there will still be some blood stasis in old master's body that hasn't been expelled. Xiaoya's treatment approach has a small flaw. In a few minutes, it'll be Yi Chen's time to show off. Xiaoya will develop feelings for him because of this, and eventually become part of his harem. Tang Yu's inner thoughts resounded again. After listening, Jiang Xiaoya remained expressionless, focusing her attention on the acupuncture needles in her hand. As a family of renowned doctors, the Ghost Gate 13 needles technique was their ultimate skill. Quickly, her hands moved like blurred shadows, with needles falling in rapid succession. After inserting all 13 needles at once, old Master Wang's complexion immediately began to change. The Wang family members in the room also grew tense. After about 5 minutes, old Master Wang's left hand suddenly lifted slightly. Seeing this, the Wang family members all exclaimed in surprise. As expected of Dr. Jiang, her medical skills are incredible. Great, old master has finally recovered. Dr. Jiang is indeed amazing, while some people just boast loudly, making fools of themselves. The middle-aged man who had bet with Yi Chun earlier let out a heavy cold snort. Yi Chun twitched the corner of his mouth, showing disdain. The Ghost Gate 13 needles were indeed impressive. But his own Tai Divine needles. That was truly the world's best needle technique. This little girl called Jiang Xiaoya was still far behind him. When she becomes his woman someday, he wouldn't mind teaching her his ultimate skill. After removing the silver needles one by one from old Master Wang's hand, Jiang Xiaoya asked, Old Master Wang, how do you feel now? Much better. I can speak now. Although old Master Wang's voice was a bit shaky, it was much more fluent than before. That's good, Jiang Xiaoya nodded and advised. I'll write you a prescription now. Take it regularly for 3 months. This condition still needs slow recovery. She then took out paper and pen from her small box and started writing the prescription. Kid named Ji, what do you have to say now? At this moment, the middle-aged man from before stepped out. He stared at Yi Chun and said, I won't make it hard for you. Making you crawl out would be beneath the Wang family's class. But you must apologize to Dr. Jiang. Oh. Yi Chun sneered, holding up 3 fingers. Are you sure he's cured? How about this, I'll count. If the old master has no problems after 3 minutes, I'll even kneel down and apologize. Still want to struggle? Fine. The middle-aged man took out his hand and started timing. He really couldn't stand this arrogant guy. The Wang family members also glared at him angrily. As soon as the 3 minutes were up, they would make this kid pay. Jiang Xiaoya immediately understood after hearing Yi Chen's words. All of this was exactly in line with brother Tang Yu's inner voice. She quickly grasped old Master Wang's wrist to re-examine it. Sure enough, some of the congested blood had begun to slowly gather together. She had previously considered that the old master's body was too weak, and had wanted to use traditional Chinese medicine to gradually improve his condition. Now that the situation had changed, she had no choice but to switch to a different treatment plan. Brother Tang Yu, please sterilize another silver needle for me, she instructed, looking up at Tang Yu. All right, Tang Yu nodded, looking somewhat puzzled. What does this girl need another silver needle for? Could she have already identified the issue? Hearing Tang Yu's inner voice, a smile tugged at the corner of Jiang Xiaoya's lips. I should thank you, my dear brother Tang Yu. If you hadn't told me, how would I have known? She precisely inserted the silver needle in her hand into the Weiqiu acupoint on the old man's calf. After this needle, a large red patch suddenly appeared on the old man's calf. Jiang Xiaoya swiftly inserted a few more needles, and soon congested blood began to flow continuously from the old man's calf. Towel, Jiang Xiaoya said, reaching out her hand. Tang Yu hurriedly handed her the towel, and she began wiping away the congested blood from the old man. Yi Chun was dumbfounded after seeing Jiang Xiaoya's actions. Could he himself be the fool? This woman, there's no way she should have discovered this hidden condition. If her medical skills were truly that exceptional, she should have completed the treatment in one go from the start. This defies logic. He was now truly at a loss, unable to comprehend how things had turned out this way. The middle-aged man standing behind him noticed that 3 minutes had passed, and his expression darkened. Dr. Yi, 3 minutes are up. Isn't it time you fulfilled your promise? Yi Chun was immediately extremely embarrassed. Today he had originally planned to act like a master, conquering the Wang family while also conquering a beautiful woman. Now he truly couldn't get off this stage. As the Dragon King, he had never bowed his head to anyone in his life. Kneeling down to apologize was absolutely impossible. But his eyes rolled, thinking that Jiang Xiaoye would definitely become his woman in the future. Bowing his head to his future wife was barely acceptable. So he put on a carefree smile and said, "Haha, I didn't expect Su Hang to have such a true expert like Dr. Jiang. I was indeed unobservant today. I apologize to Dr. Jiang here." The 13 Ghost Gate needles indeed live up to their reputation. In my opinion, they're not inferior to my divine Tai needle. After saying this, he extended one palm. A silver needle floated above his hand. This was the supreme skill of qi-guided needling from the Tai divine needle. Seeing this, the Wang family members all showed expressions of amazement. Here we go, here we go. Trying to change the subject, aren't we? But Xiaoye is indeed obsessed with medical skills. Now that he's shown off this divine Tai needle technique, she's bound to be curious about him. Impressive, as expected of you, Dragon King. You've always been a pro at charming girls. Tang Yu's snarky comments rang out. A flash of anger crossed Jiang Xiaoye's face. Is this guy trying to pick her up? She had been listening to brother Tang Yu talk for a while now. About how she supposedly had feelings for this Yi Chun, becoming one of his harem and such. But at this moment, her impression of Yi Chun was utterly abysmal. He had medical skills but no medical ethics. If you're treating patients, focus on that. How can he use patients for bets? A person like this is nothing but garbage. How dare he think he's worthy of pursuing her? She deliberately exclaimed in amazement. So impressive. Then you'll surely keep your word, won't you? Weren't you supposed to kneel down and apologize? Sigma, 渡口渡. Tang Yu, who was just watching the drama unfold, was stunned on the spot. Holy crap, Xiaoye, this ain't right. What kind of snakeskin move is this? He's already shown off the divine Tai needle. Shouldn't you two be exchanging medical knowledge and improving your relationship? At this moment, anger was burning fiercely in Yi Chen's heart. Due to his intense emotions, the silver needle in his hand couldn't withstand his inner force and twisted on the spot. A woman dares to humiliate him like this? If he hadn't been interested in her and her family's network of connections, she'd be a corpse by now. At this moment, Wang Rulong stepped in to smooth things over. Haha, it was just a joke earlier. Don't take it seriously, folks. You're both exceptional doctors of this generation. You should be exchanging knowledge and learning from each other. That's right, there's no need to take jokes to heart. The middle-aged man from earlier also softened his expression and joined in to ease the tension. They had just witnessed that this arrogant young man indeed possessed some real skills. It was worth saving face for him now, in case they needed his help in the future. Yi Chen's expression finally softened a bit, and he said with a slight smile. What I said earlier was just a word spoken in frustration. However, I did indeed cause some offense today. If Miss Jiang doesn't mind, perhaps we could have dinner together tonight, so I can offer my apologies. Haha, a man of your word, true Dragon King. That's so you. If it were a villain who lost the bet and tried to back out, even crippling them would be a minor punishment. Failed at picking up girls and now you're trying another trick. You're like a teddy bear that's gained sentience, a walking pile driver. Damn, I gotta hand it to you. Tang Yu rolled his eyes, his internal sarcasm mode firing on all cylinders. I mind. Jiang Xiaoye coldly snorted, firmly refusing. After listening to brother Tang Yu's muttering for so long, she had already figured out what kind of person this was. Yi Chen felt both awkward and angry. Fortunately, at that moment, someone pushed open the door and walked in, breaking the awkward atmosphere. Wang Yixue walked in from outside, a hint of coldness in her eyes. Seeing Wang Yixue arrive, Yi Chen's anger instantly subsided, replaced by rising desire. He had seen many beautiful women, but none could wear a qipao as stunningly as Wang Yixue. She truly was the woman he had set his sights on. It wouldn't be long before she and the Wang family would be his. Seeing Wang Yixue look his way, he immediately flashed his signature seductive smile. This was truly his ultimate move for seducing women. He had practiced it tens of thousands of times in front of the mirror. His seductive smile carried an air of untamed arrogance. Just the right amount of coolness, enough to pique a woman's curiosity. Damn, can't you smile like a normal person? Would it kill you to not have a crooked mouth? If only I could beat you, I'd tape that damn mouth of yours shut, you son of a bitch. This must be written by a brain-dead author. I give up. How the hell can this kind of smile attract girls? Tang Yu watched this smile and inwardly ranted furiously. After hearing this voice, Jiang Xiaoya tried hard to keep her head down and hold back her laughter. Wang Yixue also heard Tang Yu's inner thoughts. But at this moment, she was in no mood to laugh. After returning from the company, she immediately suspended the project and mobilized all of the Wang family's resources to begin an investigation. After her investigation, things turned out to be exactly as Tang Yu had said. The new energy project that her cousin Wang Rulong had been pushing turned out to be a trap. She needed to investigate the specifics further, otherwise insufficient evidence would only tip off the suspects. She walked to the bedside and held the old Mr. Wang's hand, asking with concern, "Grandfather, are you feeling better?" "I'm much better, just a bit sleepy." Old Mr. Wang spoke more fluently, though his tone was still somewhat weak. "Then you should rest well, we'll come to see you later," Wang Yixue said softly, helping the old man cover himself with the blanket. The group walked out of the small courtyard, leaving only the caregiver to look after the old man. "Oh my, it's already 3 o'clock, I need to go back for the free clinic." Jiang Xiaoya's phone alarm suddenly went off. She glanced at her phone and said goodbye to everyone, preparing to leave. "Take care, Dr. Jiang. Dr. Jiang, do drop by more often when you have time." The Wang family members all smiled and said goodbye to Jiang Xiaoya. Jiang Xiaoya nodded and winked at Tang Yu, saying, "Brother Tang Yu, why aren't you saying goodbye to me?" Bye-bye." Tang Yu waved his hand with a strained smile. "Sigh, Xiaoya, it's not that I don't want to say goodbye, I just don't dare to. That bastard Yi Chun treats you as if you were his woman. If I get too close to you, he'll mess me up." After hearing Tang Yu's inner thoughts, Jiang Xiaoya suddenly felt a bit of acid reflux. Treating her as his woman? Ugh, he can eat shit. At this moment, Yi Chun was seething with anger internally, wishing he could punch Tang Yu to death. How could the woman he liked call another man brother, and so affectionately at that? However, his facial expression remained calm, and he even took the initiative to greet Jiang Xiaoya. "Dr. Jiang, if it's convenient in a few days, I'd like to visit your residence. I've heard that the elder Dr. Jiang has extraordinary medical skills, and I'd like to exchange insights and learn from him." "It's not convenient, you're not welcome, don't come." Jiang Xiaoya instantly changed her expression, tossing these few words at Yi Chun before coldly snorting and walking away. The sight of him now made her lose her appetite. Yi Chun instantly felt hurt inside, with an urge to hit someone. In his entire life, this was the first time he had failed in wooing a girl. But he couldn't lash out now, because his plan to woo wasn't over yet. Wang Yixue was still here. He glanced at Wang Rulong beside him. Wang Rulong immediately caught on, and walked up to Wang Yixue with a smile. "Oh sis, let me introduce you to a young talent. This is Dr. Yi Chen. His medical skills are no less than Dr. Zhang's." Yi Chun took a deep breath and resumed his signature devilishly charming smile. He walked up to Wang Yixue and extended his hand, saying, "Hello, Miss Wang." Wang Yixue just gave him a cold look, showing no intention of shaking his hand. She said coldly, "Has anyone ever told you one thing?" "What's that?" "Your smile is disgusting." The smile on Yi Chen's face instantly froze. The atmosphere suddenly became extremely awkward, even making him question his life. His smile is disgusting? This comment had already hurt his self-esteem. This was his most proud source of charm. It was his unbeatable move in wooing girls. Piffed. Tang Yu couldn't help but laugh. Damn, someone finally said what was on his mind. Yi Chun immediately turned his head and glared at him fiercely, his eyes full of murderous intent. "What are you laughing at?" Yi Chun said through gritted teeth. I just remembered something happy." Tang Yu felt a chill down his spine from Yi Chen's stare and started cursing internally. "What the fuck are you getting mad at me for? I'm not the one who insulted you. Besides, your smile was disgusting to begin with. Can't you see that in the mirror? What's with your attitude? Why are you being so aggressive towards young Master Tang? Exactly, you have no manners. Young Master Tang didn't say anything to you. What's so great about having some medical skills? We shouldn't have someone like this come to our Wang family in the future. Seeing his aggressive expression towards Tang Yu, several members of the Wang family immediately started criticizing him from the side. Tang Yu was instantly overwhelmed with emotion, really feeling like crying. You guys, you're really protecting me too much. Please don't do it again next time. If you protect me like this a few more times, I might actually be gone. After being collectively mocked by the Wang family members, Yi Chen's gaze towards Tang Yu grew increasingly venomous. All the crap he had to take today was because of this guy. But remembering the purpose of his visit today, he quickly suppressed the murderous intent in his heart. Miss Wang, I believe there must be some misunderstanding between us. We'll have a good talk when there's an opportunity in the future. Yi Chen smiled and nodded at Wang Yixue before striding away. Seeing Yi Chen leave, Wang Rulong's face was filled with unbearable embarrassment. Today, their plan with Brother Yi hadn't even taken a single step forward. To make matters worse, this guy had offended young Master Tang, leaving him feeling utterly depressed. I'll go see Brother Yi off. He said goodbye to his family and quickly jogged to catch up with Yi Chen, trying to comfort him. Brother Yi, there was a bit of an accident today. Don't take it to heart. Yi Chen asked with a scowl. Never mind about accidents, does Wang Yixue have some grudge against me? Being told to his face by a woman that his smile was disgusting had already caused him psychological trauma. It was now difficult for him to show his confident smirk like before. Could it be that these women weren't giving him a good look today because his smile wasn't good? Does this approach not work in China? Not at all. Wang Rulong was completely confused about this. So is my smile really disgusting? Well, it's okay, just a bit unique. Wang Rulong answered diplomatically. Yi Chen almost couldn't resist slapping this idiot silly. He stared at Wang Rulong with a cold expression and asked, "What's the relationship between that Tang fellow and your family?" "Our families are old family friends. Young Master Tang is very close to us, and he's even my sister's ex-boyfriend," Wang Rulong hurriedly replied. Ex-boyfriend? Yi Chen's eyes flashed with murderous intent upon hearing these words. The thing he couldn't accept most was that his woman had once had intimate contact with other men. So, Tang Yu, you're deliberately trying to get under my skin, aren't you? You won't let go of any woman I set my eyes on? Nevertheless, as a medical expert, he could tell that Wang Yixue was still a virgin, which made him feel somewhat better. After pondering for a moment, Yi Chen said, "Let's not rush our plan. I'll deal with that Tang guy first, to prevent him from interfering with our situation." Absolutely, Brother Ye's wisdom is truly superior, Wang Rulong praised sincerely. With the Tang family's trillion-yuan assets at their disposal, if they were to extend a helping hand to solve the Wang family's difficulties, wouldn't his and Yi Chen's plan be rendered useless? Yi Chen smiled calmly, not wanting to elaborate further. After leaving the Wang family, he stopped by the roadside and made a phone call. When the call connected, a girl's sweet voice came through. "Dragon King, what are your orders?" "Qi, how's the infiltration into the Tang group progressing?" "It's been successful. My current position is the general manager's secretary." "Excellent. You have 1 week to obtain everything I need. In a month's time, I want the Tang family wiped off the map in Suhang.